My name's Craig Johnson. I'm VP of Business Development for Cloud at Cadence, and I'm excited to talk to you today about the Cadence Cloud, the future of electronic design. It's the fastest, most painless, and reliable way to get on the cloud for electronic design. So one of the questions that comes up frequently in customer meetings is one that isn't expressly stated, but it's often the focus of the conversation, and that's this: what is my company's cloud strategy? Now, the reason that that comes up is that electronic design in the cloud is quite a daunting subject to figure out. Electronic design and IC design requires a huge investment in IT technology, in CAD capability, and obviously in the designers themselves. So one of the things that I found to be quite helpful is just to start with a simple overview of how to go think about a cloud strategy. There's actually 4 steps, and I'll briefly describe them and then see if this is helpful for you as you figure this out. So the first step in all of this is actually to consider your priorities. So let's start with that. We need to clarify exactly what we're trying to accomplish with the cloud. There's a lot of different possibilities when we're working on the cloud. Is it to replace capital spend with expense? Is it to outsource IT functions? Is it to increase the agility that's realizable in the environment? Or is it some other factor? Without considering those priorities, it's quite easy to get trapped into an implementation mindset, get to the end of a project and realize that you really haven't determined what it was that you set out to achieve. So that's the first thing, always clarify priorities. The second thing that's equally important is to consider the use model, all right? So as you identify the use model that's going to be most appropriate, there's a number of possibilities as well that are important to consider. So what do I mean by use model? Well, am I going to use the cloud for my baseline design environment, or is it just for my peak? Do I want to explicitly use it for one area or one functional purpose, or is it more of a hybrid strategy? So all of those things are relevant because you'll go about the solution in a different way depending on which of those things that you really want to achieve. So that's the second thing, identify the use model. The third thing that's important is actually one that maybe is obvious but not often properly executed, and that's collaboration. When you're talking about cloud, there's collaboration that has to happen internally, and there's collaboration that has to happen with third parties. And sometimes the third parties aren't ones who normally come together for you. But in a minimum, you need to bring in your tool provider. You need to bring in third-party IP providers that are critical to your project. Certainly need to talk with the foundries so that they can understand what it is that you're going to be doing with their IP in the cloud. And finally, the cloud providers themselves. Each of them has unique abilities to provide a solution that might be more effective for your use case. So the fourth thing is really more of the practicality of getting moving in a cloud strategy, and it's simply stated to come up with a plan. Now, any good plan will have the appropriate scope. I suggest starting with something that's not going to be so overwhelming that it becomes difficult to get traction. Pick a small project, maybe a certain function that you'd like to try in the cloud. Set the scope appropriately and then begin execution. And execution requires a timeline, it requires resourcing it, and approaching it with a mindset of learning and proving out what was your ultimate goal and priority in starting down this path. So there you have it. Those are the 4 steps to creating a cloud strategy that I think you'll find helpful in getting your company rolling. So that's it. Thank you for your time. Remember, Cadence Cloud is the future of electronic design. It's the fastest, most painless, and certainly the proven way to be on the cloud for electronic design. Thanks for your time.